Now this one's pretty simple inequality. It's only have one kind of one variable, but there's a couple of things you need to note about these. Okay, when I do not have an equal sign, it's a dotted line. And when I have an equal sign with my inequality, I have a solid line. And a lot of times students forget to shade these problems. So please, if you don't shade, I kind of have to take some credit off. All right, so number one, I have x is less than 3. What kind of line is x equals 3? Well, it's a vertical line, right? This does not have an equal sign with it, so it's a dotted line. And we're going to put a vertical line at 3, but make sure it's dotted because there's no equal sign. And we want all of those values, as long as your x or y is on the left-hand side, just follow the sign. So I want all those x values less than 3, or the arrow's pointing that way, shade the side to the left of the line. So there's my answer. Number 2, I have an equal sign here, so it's solid. And y equals a number is going to be a horizontal line. So it's a solid horizontal line at -1. So here's my y equals -1. Pardon me? Well, that's because that's a vertical line. Yeah. This y equals -1 is a horizontal line at -1. It's a solid line because it has an equal sign with it. So I'm going to put a solid horizontal line at y equals -1. Okay, the arrows pointing that way or greater than. This one you kind of have to think about it a little bit. All of the y values are getting greater on top of the line. Okay. Number 3. Now this is what we did yesterday. Remember we put it in slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. And then we graph them. What's my b here, my y-intercept? Well, we're adding 0, right? So my b is 0. My slope is 1/2. So I start at 0, y equals 0, and then go up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. Remember we used a straight edge to draw our line. And this one has no equal sign, so it's a dotted line. Yep, because there's no equal sign. So it's a dotted line here. And y is less than, so we want to shade less than. Which is under the line. Okay, let's do number 5. What's my b? +5. My slope, there's a -1 there. -1 over 1. Aren't you glad you did your work yesterday? You know how to do these? It's a dotted line, so I'm going to start at 5, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. To be enough to make my line. Again, it's dotted, there's no equal sign. Okay, thank you. So there's my dotted line. My arrow's pointing that way or less than. So it's all the way there. Number 7? Yep, they will. Number 7, my y-intercept is 2. My slope is 2/3. So I start at y equal 2, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. This is a dotted line, no equal sign. Shade above, greater than. My answer. Number 9, be careful, they're trying to trick you here. My y-intercept is 4. My slope, negative 3 halves. Now that negative can go with the 3 or it can go with the 2. So b equal or y equal 4 there. I'm gonna go, let's go down 3 over 2. Down 3 to the right 2. Solid or dotted line? That's right, dotted or slashed or whatever you want to call it. There's my line. Want all those numbers greater than, pointing that way. Go. Bob Seeger would say, turn the page. Bob Seeger would say. He's a singer from the 70s and sang a song called "Turn the Page." I did 1, 2, 3, and the odds. So you're gonna do the evens, yes, Metal? Okay. Well, if sometimes it's really easy to tell. These, like 1 and 2, you kind of have to think about it. You want all those values greater than -1. You're looking at the y-axis. That's y. So here's -1 on the y-axis. Here's 0, 1, 2. These numbers are greater. Okay. Same with x. We want all of those less than 3. Well, now we're looking at the x-axis. Here's 3. We want all of these less than 3. So these are the solutions. Now, with a line, as long as your y is on the left-hand side, you follow the arrow. Okay? This is less than. So just shade less. See how this is less than? Shade this side because it's pointing that way. This one's pointing that way, so you want greater than. Yeah, same thing. The only thing the equal sign does is give it a solid or dashed. And the other way, Madeline, okay, so you want your y values to be greater than that, okay? If I shaded this You're always looking at the y-axis. If I shaded this, your y values are getting smaller. And we want them greater. So we want the top because it's getting greater. Yeah, we did that yesterday. We did like 4 pages of this yesterday. It's because you guys probably were talking. I wouldn't doubt it either. All right, and then you have to get it in y equals mx plus b form, right? This you have to change to y equals mx plus b form before you can graph it. Again, we did this yesterday. Now remember, with inequalities, yesterday we dealt with equal signs. With inequalities, if you divide or multiply by -1, you have to flip the sign. Okay, so here I'm going to add 3x to both sides. These add up to 0. I get y, and I'm going to put my x term first. So I have a positive 3x and a positive 4. So my b is 4. My slope is 3, or 3 over 1. So I start at my y equal 4, up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. There's no equal sign with my inequality, so it's a dashed or dotted line. And let's see, I'm going to use this one, okay? It's a less than sign, so I want all of those y values that are less than, okay? So I want the ones that are going smaller. And I'll do number 12 for you. So I got to put it in y equals mx plus b form. 3x plus 3y is less than or equal to 6. So I got to get y by itself. I'm going to get rid of the x's. So I got 3y is less than or equal to, I'm going to put my x term first, negative 3x plus 6. Then I have to divide every term by 3. So I get y is less than or equal to negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1 x. 6 divided by 3 is a positive 2. My b is 2. My m slope is negative 1 over 1. So I start at 2. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. 1 to the right 1. This is a solid line because I have an equal sign this time. And I want all of those less than, so the bottom. And there's my graph. Okay, so you need to finish pages 1 and 2. And you should do page 3 also. So practice work. Pages 1, 2, and 3. Questions, comments, concerns?